Hey guys, welcome back to the GameSpot stage at E3 2016. I'm Mary, your host for the next couple hours, and I'm delighted to be joined by GameSpot Reviews editor Peter Brown, as well as Rich and Megan from Crystal Dynamics. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
And you guys have something very special to share with us. This is not just some clips or some new assets. We're talking about a legacy of Lara Croft and Tomb Raider because it's her birthday, and she is turning 20 years old this year.
Yeah. It's really exciting for us because we are, this year celebrating 20 years of an icon. Lara Croft has had such an impact on culture and on the gaming industry and on our fans, and so it's great to be able to look back and celebrate all the moments. And Megan's going to share a few details with you on some of the things that we've uncovered, but we kicked things off obviously with the Rise of the Tomb Raider launch on PC in January. And then we had Lara's birthday, the official birthday, in February. And then in March, we partnered with Game Changer Charity to reveal our 20 Years of an Icon logo. So we're trying to do something every month to surprise our fans and to reward them. And we're basically making sure that we have something new every single month to celebrate what we're calling the Year of Tomb Raider.
Yeah, and there's so much to celebrate, not only the legacy of the Tomb Raider franchise, but Lara Croft herself as this very interesting and iconic character that is just so well known. Not just in the game world, but I mean, she has moved through movies. She's been on magazine covers. I mean, that girl's been everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that we revealed at PAX East was our first really big drop. And so we revealed an official Tomb Raider 20th anniversary book, which we will have the cover reveal at the end of this segment, which is really cool.
That's so exciting.
Yeah,
so you guys have a big book coming out.
Yeah, and I had the incredible responsibility and honor of writing it. So it was a lot of fun. It was also an experience that kind of made me feel like a Tomb Raider myself, like digging up all these old assets. So it's been a really cool experience writing that. And then we also revealed the original composer for Tomb Raider 1 through 3. He's remastering and reimagining the soundtrack from the first 3 games, and he's putting it together in a compilation called the Tomb Raider Suite. He's going to take it on tour with a concert. It's going to be really, really amazing. So things like that, these ways to celebrate different facets of what Tomb Raider means to people, we're going to be doing throughout the entire year.
Absolutely, because there's just so many different ways that you can view Tomb Raider or Lara Croft as this icon. She's gone through a lot of changes over 20 years, as most people do through their first 20 years. From the braid to the outfits to even like her signature flip when she jumps. I mean, a lot of things have changed, but it sounds like you guys actually have some old assets that you dug through that you are excited to show us.
Yeah, it was really fun. So on social media, we're basically every 2 weeks swapping out a new game. So we started with Tomb Raider 1. We're on to Tomb Raider 3 now, but some of the stuff that we dug up for Tomb Raider 2 was really exciting, and I think we're going to scroll through some of those. But 1997 in Tomb Raider 2, it was just a really, really breakout year for the franchise in terms of transcending beyond gaming. Here's one of the original pieces of Tomb Raider 2 concept art. It's really cool.
Looks very rugged, but she does have her iconic braid. Yeah. Oh, that looks like a comic strip.
I know, I love it. And so, yeah, 1997 was a really big year for Tomb Raider, and that's when they first got the first bites of interest for comics. That's even when they first started getting people reaching out about movie potential. Is the second year of the franchise, and it wasn't seen to fruition until 2001. But they had animation studios reaching out, movie studios reaching out, trying to gauge interest, and then eventually they went forward and started pitching it to Hollywood. But it was a big year, and Lara transcended gaming. She became this pop culture icon.
The thing that I always love, Mary, you mentioned how she's changed all over the 20 years, but there's also things that have remained constant, things that are just intrinsic to Lara Croft. You think about her intelligence, her drive, her will, her bravery. She has these things that you just always associate with her, whether it's the classic games from Core, whether it's the Crystal games like Legend and Underworld, or the new reboot modern survival action games. There's always these things that you just feel like they are just part of Lara Croft and make her the cultural icon that she is.
Yeah, and that's why she's resonated so much with the fans, and that's something in particular with the book that I'm really proud of. Is we have 100 pages, I counted it, 100 pages dedicated to our community in this book. Wow. And Lara, as this character who has evolved, has appealed to the fandom in so many unique ways. It's funny because they're all very unique and personal stories, and at the same time they're also like this universal story of their connection with Lara. And so we explore a lot of those, and it's just lovely to see how everybody's banded together over the last 20 years.
Yeah, a series like Tomb Raider, you look at it, and over the years it's sort of you can say, okay, where was gaming at that point in time, and where was Lara? And they seem to be like almost in lockstep with one another, you know. And I remember the first time I played the game, it was on PC, and when it just dropped. I think I just got broadband, and that was one of the first things I was able to download. And I was really blown away by the original game, and I'm curious how far. Like, did you guys get your hands on it back then when it first came out? Like, what did it mean to you?
Absolutely, yes.
That's why I'm in gaming. I think. I mean, Lara inspired me to, you know, always be brave and bold, and it was one of the things that made me want to work in gaming, because I was so impressed by its ability to convey emotion and atmosphere and all these things. And it was sort of the first time I felt represented in video games. And it's so funny, and I tell this to people, it's like, I really didn't have much in common with her. She's like this really wealthy British aristocrat with dual guns and super acrobatic and all these sorts of things, but she was a lady, and she had brown hair, and that's all I needed as a 12-year-old was to feel inspired.
She was super headstrong, and like she was just a really rad character.
Don't sell yourself short. I think you're pretty acrobatic. I've seen your ice climbing.
Like that time that
she cosplays as Lara Croft, and she's climbing up an ice glacier or something. I'm like, okay, that looks a little too.
I think that the time I spilled coffee in your office means I'm a little less.
But then she did a backflip off the end of the table.
But I appreciate the.
It's so much fun though, because you know I've been playing it from the beginning. You know, back in 1996, and for me, it brought together so many things that I'd never experienced in a video game. Not just Lara Croft and how, you know, amazing it was to have a hero like that on screen that I'd never seen before in gaming. But, you know, when you walked into a tomb and that sense of isolation and just the grandeur and the way that they had changed just how adventure was delivered and her attitude, and it put so many things together that other games maybe had touched upon, but I'd never gotten that complete package. And that was really the year that I started to really fall in love with gaming. And I will never forget the first time I did the swan dive. I probably share that with many, many millions of people around the world, but the first time you do a swan dive and you're like, okay, this is...
Or the first T-Rex encounter.
I
mean, that moment.
The bear. Like walking into that first cave. In
Peru, and like there's that pool of water, and I would just always run for the pool of water and just like hide there because I was afraid of the bear. But I mean, you know, I'm really guilty of this. I tend to talk a lot about Lara, and Lara's amazing and a huge inspiration to so many people, but the game, like you guys are saying, the game was so incredible, and it was so immersive, and this beautiful 3D world that you could interact with, and you could see Lara and see how she interacted versus like the first person games, and it was just such a unique game. And that isolation, the willingness to have moments of quiet and moments with nothing going on but Lara
Tomb
in these
Raider's
environments.
Gameplay was also quite innovative. I mean, Tomb Raider 2 did a lot of firsts for a lot of games that were 3D, which was like a pretty unsure thing back in the day, back in the 90s. That was like something that they did. And I remember getting the demo on PlayStation when you're like in Venice, and even like as little as swimming in 3D was really new. Wall climbing, traversal through vehicles like snowmobile and things like that. Those are all gameplay elements that were just unbelievably fun. Didn't matter who I was having a really good time. The mixing of action and puzzles, so that you get the highs of being able to shoot bears in caves, but then right after that you have to use your brain and you have to figure out how to get something, or the uniqueness of exploration, of finding secrets. So it really encouraged people to go into, you know, into new areas.
Absolutely.
Explore.
And when you talk about how, you know, Lara has changed but also kept things that are intrinsic to her over the 20 years, I think the same thing on the gameplay side. You know, obviously with the reboot, you know, the modern survival action, you know, grounded, you know, mature feel to it's very different for us with what we're doing now with Crystal. But Rise of the Tomb Raider, the main reason why Lara can swim in that game is because the fans wanted that. They asked for it, and we felt like that was the perfect type of nostalgic thing that we could include as a way to pay homage to the previous game, or, you know, things like the bear, or having now the manor in the cutscenes. So, you know, I love looking at it, and I love working on it from not just we're steering this huge, incredibly influential franchise, but also as a fan. You know, I get to see those things that I loved when I was playing the original games now coming back into Rise of the Tomb Raider, as we see Lara, you know, continuing to progress toward that Tomb Raider that we all know and love.
You know what I really want to have bring back is being able to like mess around in the manor before you actually go out into the game. In the original games, you could always just like hang out in her mansion and pretend you were super rich and like get lost in the maze, or do all these like different flips and stuff.
Not a bad idea.
A lot of people seem to be interested in that.
It was just such an awesome thing to enjoy that had nothing to do with with the game, but was fun to do.
It was so much a part of her personality, and it sold that aristocratic element to her. You know, just listening to the classic piano music and seeing the harp in her gymnasium and her pool, and you know.
And there were secrets in her house if you were like investigating enough. So it sounds like you guys have like a lot of stuff that you were able to cover. You're kind of like going into the closet of all these moments of history from this wonderful series, and you had to shove it into a book. A very small book.
Well,
how did you do
that?
It's
a pretty large book. Yeah, and I have read it. It is pretty incredible. I have to say, you know, I can't even state the amount of heart and soul that Megan put into this. There's nobody better to write it, but this is literally not just the most comprehensive book that I've ever seen on Tomb Raider, but of any video game franchise ever. I mean, this thing is absolutely massive. The amount of things that Megan was able to uncover, you know, she can't toot her own horn like this stuff, but I think fans of the franchise, young and old, of the classic as well as the modern, they're going to find something to like, because there is so much in the book that celebrates, you know, Lara Croft and celebrates the gameplay and behind the scenes stuff around the development that you didn't know, and stuff around the movie that I had no idea about, around the comics, around the fans, like Megan said, with so much content dedicated to the cosplayers and the people who do the papercraft. And like, there is so much in this book. It's going to be a treasure, I guarantee you, for any fan.
I hope people enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, it was a really incredible experience writing it, and I have to admit, it was a little intimidating talking to some of my heroes from my youth and getting to chat with the core design crew and people who wrote and designed and did the art for the games that inspired me growing up. It was really incredible, and set dressers from the movie and people sending me photos, like physical photos, like, do you want to
very personal photos,
put them in the book, and it was a really incredible experience. So hopefully people will enjoy it.
Sounds good.
It's big, so yeah, that's the thing. Like, I have to give Prima a huge thank you for this, because I kept exceeding my word count, and then they stopped saying, they were like, just don't worry, just give us what you think the book should be, and it ended up being 350 pages.
Okay, yeah.
So they increased the size quite a bit for me, which I appreciate.
Well, I'm sure the fans will thank them as well. Yeah. So when can people expect to see this book on shelves? Or
so later this year, yes.
Okay.
So late fall time frame is when we're currently planning to release it, but we did have a little surprise around it.
So we have the cover finished. We are going to debut the cover here.
Yeah,
something that's really exciting. And
pull
Rich
up the cover pretty soon.
A little bit of the design of it. But do you want to talk about the design of the 20-year logo and how we use that on the cover?
Absolutely. I think that one of the things that was really important to us was making sure that when we're celebrating 20 years of an icon, that when you look at the logo, you're not thinking, oh, that's Lara from this game, or oh, that's classic Lara versus, you know, modern survival action, you know, Tomb Raider Lara. So it was a long and involved process, but it was a great and collaborative process, you know, with the team and the artists there, to pull together a representation of Lara that still has those iconic, you know, traits that I mentioned. So you instantly look at it, you recognize that silhouette is Lara Croft, but you actually can't tell, you know, well, which version of Lara Croft is it? Because it's actually meant to be all of them. There's things in there that are shared across both of them. There are things that are unique to each version of Lara Croft. So we look at the 20 years of an icon logo as sort of a celebration and amalgamation of how she's changed over the 20 years.
So you can't, when you look at it, you can't quite tell if she has a braid or a ponytail. You can't quite tell if that little silhouette on the side of her is a bit of a backpack, or is she wearing pants or shorts, and are those dual holsters, or is that the single holster from the new games? You know, so it's a really neat visual play on all of the different silhouettes of Lara.
And I don't think has anyone uncovered the secret message that's inside the logo yet?
Yeah, the fan sites have.
They did?
Of course they have.
All right, sorry.
They figured it out like so quickly, but I'm not sure I don't think the general population has, so you can speak.
So there's actual secrets
there
in the logo itself.
It is all about discoverability. The Tomb Raider franchise is about, you know, finding what was lost, and so in the logo itself, there's actually a few secrets.
Yeah, there's nothing more than a sense of discovery that kind of reminds me of the Tomb Raider series. That's really cool that you were able to capture that in basically like a logo that's just like, it doesn't even have color, right? Like you've made a silhouette of Lara to kind of contain it, because she's gone through so many color evolutions as well.
The
so
bright
that's really
teal
neat.
top, yeah. There's so many things that are very iconic color-wise to Tomb Raider, whether it's like the teal of the top, and then since it's evolved so much, keeping the very classic silhouette was the way to do it and end. the red and the gold, the celebratory colors. So, yeah.
Okay, and so that's something that we can expect to see later this year when that'll probably be something you guys kind of have more announcements coming up.
We will have something every single month for our fans. Again, this year of Tomb Raider is all about finding ways to celebrate with the fans, letting fans tell us. You know, we have a video testimonial site. If you go to TombRaider20.com, it's basically our hub where you can see all the activity we have going on, you know, fan art contests. There's a way that our fans can be immortalized in a print project that we're going to reveal later this year. So
we just revealed a statue that we're doing, so you can actually go to in like a half hour or so we'll have the poll up, but Lara Croft Facebook page, and we have a series of statues through gaming heads who are super talented,
very high quality,
like gaming statues, and it's a 6 statue series. They're 1/4 size statues, so
and they all fit
they're
together.
large,
they fit
and
together.
they fit together, all 6 of them. So there's 3 from Core Design, there's 3 from Crystal Dynamics, different iconic outfits, and the fans can actually vote between if they want to have the Tomb Raider Chronicles catsuit, Lara in the black catsuit, or if they want the Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness, and that will be the final statue.
So much.
So.
All right. Well, I think we've done enough hype. Let's see it. Let's see the cover. This is the reveal of the Tomb Raider icon.
Well, that's there's the icon there, and you can see the text that Rich was talking about.
A little secret message in there.
And then there's the book.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we wanted to keep it like classic and simple. But the full title is 20 Years of Tomb Raider, Digging Up the Past, Defining the Future. And that was sort of a play on the fact that obviously Lara's job is always looking to the past, but in doing so, and Tomb Raider really defined the future of gaming and even to some degree entertainment and the role of female leads in gaming and in pop culture and so on. And so we're happy.
So lots of reveals today, and we will continue to have surprises for our fans every single month. So again, it's the year of Tomb Raider, so every single month we will have something.
Well, happy birthday, Lara. Happy birthday, Tomb Raider. And thank you, Rich and Megan, for showing us the brand new cover of the book.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're